So let's continue our discussion of ways in which Donald Trump may try to subvert or challenge the will of the people in November of 2020 to get himself reelected. Let's talk about Michigan. Michigan has been a big target of Donald Trump's ire. Michigan has been looking at vote by mail. They decided they are going to be sending absentee ballot applications to every voter. Now, I want to remember, let's not forget that Michigan is not sending an absentee ballot to everyone. Michigan is sending an application for an absentee ballot to anybody who wants one. Trump tried to argue on Twitter last week that by sending a ballot to everybody, Michigan is doing something wrong. Remember that Michigan is sending an application to everybody. And in Michigan, the Lieutenant Governor, Garlin Gilchrist II, said to MSNBC that he believes Trump realizes he's likely to lose Michigan in November. And so he is kind of stirring up all of this controversy over vote by mail in order to create a pretext to challenge the results in Michigan. The lieutenant governor recently said in an interview with MSNBC, quote, "I think that the president wants to set us up so that there can be a conversation about the legitimacy of an election that he is looking to lose. That is a really unfortunate thing. That's not how we do democracy here in the United States. And we need to be ready to respond to that forcefully." So you don't need to think too hard to realize there's a very good chance Trump is going to call election results into question in 2020, in the November 2020 election. Trump won in 2016 and he still says it was rigged. So understand, for 3 years, Donald Trump has been attacking the trustworthiness of an election that he won. So, of course, he's going to challenge the results if he loses in November. Now, whether he'll get away with it, we'll discuss in a moment. In terms of Michigan, Trump won Michigan. It was really close. Trump won Michigan by about 11,000 votes over Hillary Clinton. That was 0.3% in terms of a margin of victory. Right now, Trump is losing to Biden in Michigan. In the last 4 polls, Trump is down by 3, 4, 7, and 8. OK, the way to prevent Trump from credibly arguing that the Michigan results are bogus is to defeat him in a landslide, to defeat Trump so overwhelmingly in Michigan that there is no credible way for him to say it was rigged and 10,000 votes, 15,000 votes were the difference maker. They are going to bring out every trick they can. And Michigan is very likely to be a primary target, which is why Donald Trump keeps talking about Michigan all the time. Now, it's also always personal for Donald Trump. Part of Donald Trump's focus on Michigan is that he's been feuding with Gretchen Whitmer, who's been the Democratic Michigan governor overseeing the coronavirus response. And this is a surefire way for Donald Trump to attack you. She has been standing her ground against Donald Trump when it comes to coronavirus and policy. Her polling is much better than Trump's in terms of coronavirus handling. So that makes Trump absolutely furious. Now, let's talk about whether this will work. I've said before, if Trump loses, he will likely claim it was rigged, but he will leave. It's not likely to be what we would call a peaceful transition of power. So when you look back at the Bush handoff to Barack Obama, when you look at the Obama handoff to Donald Trump, we had what we would call a peaceful transition of power, the outgoing president inviting the incoming president to a White House visit. Even though these were hard-fought political battles, we checked every single box for what we call a respectful, proper, peaceful transition of power. I would expect Trump to continue being the petulant child that he's proven himself to be, refusing to welcome Joe Biden to the White House, refusing to do these perfunctory things that outgoing presidents do. And quite frankly, I don't care. I don't want to get ahead of myself. If Biden wins, the only thing that will matter is that Joe Biden won. Trump can do whatever he wants as long as he leaves and we can get back to something more normal. Now, let me throw out one other thing I've been thinking about. If Donald Trump loses and claims that it was rigged and still ends up leaving, it could be a good thing for the country. And what I mean by that is Donald Trump has successfully ignored, flouted, not flaunted, flouted checks and balances, ignored separations of power, emoluments, attacking the media, accusing TV hosts of murder, Justice Department deciding, hey, we're not going to prosecute someone, Michael Flynn, who's already pleaded guilty. It might actually be reassuring for the United States to see Trump argue, I really won, I really won, I really won, and still be forced out, because it would reassure us that at least some of our institutions are still working. Seeing that an institution still works, seeing that a check and balance still functions, seeing Trump try to say it was rigged, but still having to leave, could be exactly the reassurance we need that we will start to get back to something approximating a more normal government. It's a thought. And in the end, all that matters is that he does leave. That's all that really matters in the end. If you love feeding your intellectual curiosity, but you're always struggling to find the time, check out one of my all-time favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist lets you consume an entire book on your way home from work. They take thousands of popular nonfiction books, condense each one into text or audio that you can get through in just 15 minutes, and you get all of the important core ideas and information from that book. It's perfect if you don't have enough time to do all the reading you want to do, or if you just want to sample a book before you buy the entire thing. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.